Okay, in this video we're checking out the Caddx Dolphin HD camera. This is a 1920 by 1080p HD recording camera, and it's attracted a lot of attention because of its form factor. You see it's a cube shape here, very similar to the GoPro Session 5. In fact, I believe it's exactly the same dimensions. So you can see here as the GoPro Session 5. Obviously they don't make this anymore. It's been discontinued, and I've put these in all of the various mounts for the Session 5, and it does fit all those mounts, and it's also similar to the RunCam 5 dimensions, and also the RunCam 5 does also fit all the same mounting solutions that the GoPro Hero 5 Session fits. So this is why I think it's attracted a lot of attention. And also, I'll just give you the weight. Alright, so the dimensions obviously similar to the GoPro. Weight's going to be a little bit different here. This is, I think, quite a bit lighter. 53.4. GoPro is 73, like 20 grams more. The RunCam is 55.3. So the RunCam and the Dolphin pretty close in weight. It's a couple of grams difference. Now in the box you do get this magnetic wall mount. Basically it comes with two screws. You can screw it to your wall, and there's a metal plate at the bottom of the camera, and this magnet here will hold the camera if you want to use it as a security camera. And this is kind of where this camera kind of comes from. It was, I think, previously, or maybe possibly something in the similar line that this camera came from, is like a doorbell camera or Wi-Fi doorbell camera, something like that. When that's that, and knowing that, you'll understand the image quality and what this could be used for. The other thing you get in the box, of course, is the manual. It's not too bad. It's a little confusing, so I'm going to go over how to actually use the product here so you guys understand the three different modes. Basically, there's the main mode where you turn the camera on and you record like you would like the other cameras here. There's a direct connect mode where you can connect to the camera via Wi-Fi to see what the image is on the camera directly to the camera itself. And then there's an internet mode or an IP camera mode where you connect the camera to your Wi-Fi, and then that image can be shared through some other means, through the Dolphin Go app or some other IP cam app. I'll show you how that works here in a second. So just taking a quick look at the camera itself, you have obviously the lens in the front here, you have the power on button, a reset button here, and then in the back, this little door, there you have the micro SD card slot and a micro USB connector, so you can charge the battery inside. The battery is supposed to last about 3 hours. I was getting roughly 2.5 hours of runtime on the battery before I had to recharge it. In order to turn it on, you just long press the power button like so, and then a little green light will show up. That indicates that it's turned on. And then to record, you just short press the power button again, and the green light will start flashing. That's indicating that it is recording. And to stop recording, you press the power button again, and the green light will stop flashing, and that means the recording has stopped. Now to access the direct connection mode, basically you want to turn on the Wi-Fi inside the camera. You're going to long press the reset button here for about 3 seconds. And then you get a blue solid light there, and now it's flashing. I think that means that the Wi-Fi is turned on. You should be able to now connect to the camera via your phone. But first you're going to need to install a smartphone app, and so you go to your Android Play Store and you want to search for an app called Dolphin. It's DOPHIGO, like that, and that's going to be the name of the app, and then you want to go ahead and install it. And we'll go ahead and open the app here and hit allow, and then we're going to need to connect to the app. So or actually we're going to need to connect to the camera via Wi-Fi, so we'll go to our Wi-Fi settings, And then the camera will show up here as DPHS underscore and some random numbers. Go ahead and connect to that Wi-Fi network. Okay, so before you can use the app, you need to register. So go ahead and click register. And put in my phone number. So you're going to get a text message on your phone number, and you have to put a code in here within 1 minute. And then it's going to ask you to put a password in. And at this point you can go ahead and add the device. So I should at this point go ahead and connect back to the camera. And at this point we should be able to see what the camera is seeing. And you can hear that the microphone is working, so I'll go ahead and mute the microphone here. But you can see here that we have video through the, I guess they call it the standalone mode. Okay, so now I'll show you how the direct connect mode works. So it basically turns into an IP cam. As I mentioned before, you long press the reset button for 3 seconds and you get a blue flashing light here that will put that into that direct connect mode or sharing mode. And so we want to add a device here all the way to the bottom. I think it's Smart Mini. And here's the tricky thing: you have to use a QR code here, and so basically it'll show up on the screen. You have to point the camera at it, so you have to basically tell, is the blue light flashing or is the blue light not flashing. So obviously it's flashing already, so we'll hit that and say it's flashing. Here we go. And then we got the QR code, so we have to point the camera at this QR code, and then that will connect the camera to your Wi-Fi. And then once that's successful, you'll get a green flashing light. And actually, there it goes. And then you have to give the camera a name. And then we should be able to start using the camera. So this is now in the direct connection mode. So I'll hit play, and then we have this live stream. And there we go. You can mute the microphone so we're not hearing feedback. So now the Wi-Fi and the camera is connected to my home Wi-Fi, and it's streaming via the basically IP protocol. Now if you want to share the live stream here from your camera with someone else, you just the little share icon here, and you can create a QR code on your screen here. And what you want to do is take a snapshot of your screen and then send this QR code to your friend or whoever you want to show your image to from your camera. So I mean, obviously someone would have to be like outside my network, and they would be able to stream this over the internet. Probably the best way to do that is to connect the camera to a Wi-Fi hotspot from your phone instead of to your home network, and then the other user on the other end can have the same DofiGo app and then use the QR code to scan this, and then they will be able to then connect to the camera remotely over the internet and see your camera image. Now of course there's going to be a little bit of lag and breakup and stuff because it is transmitting long distance, but that is one other application for this particular camera. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about the footage from this camera and who this camera might be for. It's a fairly low resolution, low bit rate image. It's like 25 frames per second at around 10 megabits. Just for reference, like some older 1080p cameras running at 30 frames per second, they're going to be closer to 15 to 20 megabits. So you can tell that the image quality in terms of video is fairly low quality. But I think the reason that is because this is intended for streaming over a network, over Wi-Fi, over the internet, and so a lower bit rate is actually better for that situation. I don't know if you'll be able to fly this on a drone and do that kind of sharing. I haven't tested that. That could be possible, one kind of possible application if you have a really strong Wi-Fi connection somewhere if you want to do that kind of type of flying. But this is going to be more for, because of the low bit rate, the video is not going to be that great when you're flying around really fast. It's going to be better for situations where you're going slow. And the other situation where this camera is probably going to be useful is in very low light situations. So I did do a little comparison with the RunCam 5 and a neighborhood with at night, basically just lit by street lights, and you can actually get usable footage from the Dolphin at night, whereas on the RunCam, or pretty much like a GoPro or any other type of traditional HD camera, your footage is pretty much going to be unusable, too dark. So yes, I'm thinking that this camera's got a very specific use case. Perhaps putting this on some sort of a slow flying drone like a Cinewhoop and getting footage in a spot where maybe you normally would not be able to get any kind of footage at all, somewhere extremely dark, for example. So if you're thinking that this is some sort of a replacement for your RunCam 5 or your GoPro Hero 5 session, that's not the case. Obviously it's a very low price with the coupon code. I think it's like 30 bucks, so it's pretty much a, backup camera, or practice camera. Like if you want to get some footage somewhere and you don't really care about the quality of the footage too much, and if you crash and break it, you're not losing too much money. That kind of situation. But I'm not so sure that the internet sharing function is that useful for FPV pilots, but it might be in the right kind of circumstances. That could be kind of interesting. If someone wanted to test that out, they could connect this to, say, to your Wi-Fi hotspot in your phone. If you got a really strong connection, you could probably fly around and then share that footage streaming over the internet, and other people can use the Dolphin Go app, connect to it via the QR code, and then see your flight footage. So that's one possible application. But this is, I think, for me, I think this is going to be kind of useful for the situations mostly in low light where you can't get footage from the other cameras, and it's going to be mostly for slow flying if you're going to be using for something like a Cinewhoop. I think that would be the best case scenario for this type of a camera. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you got any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.